I've lived it in the mud, the chaos, and the moments nobody writes about. This show is the truth, raw, unfiltered, and built for leaders who actually give a damn. If you're ready to grow, ready to own your own story, and ready to lead from the front, you're in the right place. Speak up, show up, lead. Let's get into it. Well, we're going to take a quick break. I'm going to play a couple songs for y'all from an artist who's actually a Marine Corps veteran. But before we get started, I'm going to do that. We're having some technical difficulties on the back end over here, so I apologize for the delay. But if you stand by for just a few minutes here, about 10 minutes, we're going to go live, but I'm going to play some music in the background. Feel free to jump on in and listen along.
Where the fuck are they? Aha! Here they are.
Hey Theory, my name is Nova. I'm a visual assistant AI that's been programmed into your roam optics, and I'm here to help with anything you need. So how can I support you today?
Thank God.
But they don't hear me though. But they don't hear me though. But they don't hear me though. Win. Hopping the beat, I'm gonna be something like an oddity prodigy. Oh my god, he be rocking these beats of modern day Socrates. I'm unlocking the lock with no key. I'm not what they thought I would be. No mockery, fucking to see my kinetic curiosities. Twilight zone beside my bone. I'm split. I need like 5 mics on inside my dome. There's no lights on. You get what I mean? I'm bye gone. When I write my song, really wanna bite on like snakes. I say, better yet pythons. When I write my own, despite how long they never wanna break or be bygones. Mind of a comic, always thinking of new material. Out of the box, the way I kill these beats is cereal. Even though the verse is hot and blasting through your stereo. They don't really hear me though. They don't really hear me though. They don't really hear me though. They don't really hear me. They don't really hear me though. They don't really hear me though. They don't really hear me though. They don't really hear me though.
Yeah, it's time to clock in again. Hop in the wave, get to the booth, make draws start dropping again. Stopping, never been no option, cause my competition been flopping again. Topping the 10 best rappers coming out of my city. Got them all sobbing again, plotting to win. But I got a question, when is hip hop gonna start hip hopping again? Haters mobbing again, shocking to see them all start flocking again. I'm gonna get the mic cocked, but I can't let you take the bitch shopping again. And she gonna come back knocking again, sopping wet, gotta start mopping again. Guess they never give a fuck unless I'm popping pills, sipping lean. Y'all say anything so you can cop a deal, so it seem. I've been proud of all my shit, I keep it real, being me. But if I gotta really rap, I shoot to kill, R.I.P. And they don't even know. Been giving y'all this heat, you sleeping and it really show. It's time to wake them up with shit that make the speakers blow. But they don't really hear me though.
They don't really hear me though. They don't really hear me though. They don't really hear me. They don't really hear me though. 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 They don't really hear me though.
So today's the day. I've got my RTA mock system and Coyote appliances.
Am I really about to fucking die right now?
Sir,
What?
there appears to be a
50%. What the?
5%,
What?
17%,
Ah,
83%
what?
chance of
What?
survival of
That
one
doesn't even make any sense! Ah!
impact.
Oh shit!
It's 2 minutes.
Ah! Making you sweaty, you nervous cause it's bringing down with me a hellfire type of energy, make me wanna burn down an empire. Yeah. It's a crash landing, way too late for your apologies. I'm snapping out the gate. Better bring me. Should've left my ass alone. Now I'm coming like a comet flying through the ozone. About to cause some fucking chaos, shockwaves and firestorms. Should've thought about the consequences before y'all brought me home. Now I'm back up on my bullshit. Ain't nobody fucking safe. Tsunamis gon' flood through your city. I'ma make the planet quake. Hit the ground with a vengeance. Make it shift tectonic plates. Y'all really thought I'd come in peace, but I'll be raining down with hate. At the end of the day, I'm a ticking time bomb, unstable. Any little thing liable to set me off. Get your feelings hurt, well I don't give a fuck. It ain't my fault that the new wave is getting soft. People jealous of what I'm accomplishing, still got my foot on the neck, I ain't letting off. Y'all ain't about to keep me on the stupid plan. As soon as I get the chance, I'll be getting off. Cause the woke shit and the politics, you could be a girl if you got a dick. And all the race hating and the rage baiting and the media brainwashing making me sick. Elites are controlling the populace and we just playing the game like an Oculus. Shit is so ominous, I don't know why y'all would want to keep me on the ground, but now it's going brace for impact, I hope y'all ready. When I hit the ground, the shit gon' be deadly, so get prepared. Y'all done went and brought me down, but I'm petty. My return is probably making y'all sweaty. You nervous cause it's bringing down with me a hellfire type of energy, make me wanna burn down an empire. Yeah. It's a crash landing, way too late for your apologies. I'm snapping out the gate, better bring me. Okay. Whew. Here we go.
5,
You gotta make it out of this. You gotta make it out of this. Let's go.
2,
All right. We are live and we have some people showing up for us. Today we're here for another episode of Speak Up, Show Up, Lead. This is a Growth Forge edition, and I'm here with Vic, aka Lil Saint. I'm JJ Hardy, your host.
What up?
What up? And today
I'm froze.
we're gonna you're frozen again. That's all right. We are talking about something today that's a little bit interesting, and again, it comes from the book that we're reading, The Laws of Human Nature. Oh, up here somewhere, by Robert Greene. We're reading this together, and then we're talking about our notes, and how this stuff applies not just to everyone, but specifically to us and the case studies that they reveal within this book. So today we're talking about the law of compulsive behavior, and the title of this show is determining the strengths of people's character, because that's what that's the title of this chapter, and it's an interesting one. We're following this up from talking about narcissism. And then last week we talked about seeing through people's masks. And so it's a natural transition anyway for the book, which is why it's always so good. Thanks, Brandon, David, and Prophet Power. Appreciate y'all for commenting and tuning in, and everybody else who's here as well. But, when you're determining people's strengths, it's not about whether someone is good or bad. It's about the character that's revealed by the people's behaviors, and whether it's compulsive, because it can be after it continues over time. So, Vic, what do you think about this topic?
I love it. I think, honestly, I was just telling somebody the other day not to judge somebody by a book, not to, because then what happens is we end up judging someone good or bad, and it basically, they could be a good person, and we may look at them as, for example, we may see a black gentleman driving a Mercedes, and we're sitting there thinking, what does he do? But in the back of our minds, we're really thinking that he does other stuff.
Your dog's excited over there. But yeah, you're right.
He's helping me preach.
But more than that,
What happened, bro?
the main thing that this chapter talks about, after listening to the whole thing, is how people's characters change after they reveal their true selves. And so, well, let's just go into the show. So, hey Vic, can you put your mute on if you're gonna be having a conversation back there, please?
Yeah, I have it on mute on my microphone.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it wasn't working. But
is it working now?
No. Say something. Perfect. Okay. So as far as this topic is concerned, the opening question that we'd like to pose is, how do you know if someone has a strong character? Put your answer in the reputation. The things that come up for us is, is it their reputation? Is it their personality? Is it their intentions? Or is it what they repeatedly do? People will teach you who you are, whether they say it or not. All right. So what Greene reveals in this chapter is that character isn't revealed by what people say about themselves. With the example that Vic used a couple minutes ago, he specifically said, you can't judge a book by its cover. We're living in the world of social media today. Pardon me. And in this world of social media, a lot of people will start a business, and the example that Vic and I talked about the other day was, if somebody is standing next to a Lamborghini and they're saying that they have this great idea that's going to make you a millionaire, and they can teach you how to start a business and you'll become super popular overnight, don't let it fool you. I know this because I've talked to some people, and some people will go stand next to a Lamborghini that's in a parking lot, take a picture right next to it, and then tell everybody that that's the life that they earn for themselves. And it's just not true. And people feel like they have to put this facade on, and this is part of the masks to wear thing that we talked about last week, in order to make themselves feel better, or to they feel like it's going to make them more viable, when really, being your true self is what's going to make you more viable. But
Right.
yeah, you want to go into the next part? I'm sorry, you were off screen, so I just kind of went with it.
No, you're good. You're good. I realize now that when I mute myself, I'm muting myself. I'm not muting the whole entire thing.
Yeah.
Give me 1 second.
Well,
All right.
Okay, go
So
ahead.
where are we at?
So
Reputation.
we're with the main
Reputation.
idea. We're talking about, the fact that Green argues the idea that character isn't revealed by what people say about themselves. And then I kind of gave an example, but then I didn't go into the rest of our notes there.
So how many of y'all are leaders on this call today? If you consider yourself a leader, I want you to ask yourself, what makes a great leader? Because in one way, like you said, how Green argues the character is revealed by behaviors. As a leader, are your behaviors, aka actions, meeting up with what you say? Like I have a friend of mine, she does the same business as I do. And I asked her that question, and she told me, she goes, "You made me think." So
that's
yeah,
dangerous.
I make everybody think. I even make you think.
Dang it. Is that the problem?
Yeah. Right. It might be. I don't know.
But you're right. Actually, and what the idea that we came up with in the notes is that character is not revealed about what people say about themselves. A character, and this is where leadership really shows, because your character is actually revealed by your habits, your reactions, the way your decisions. And this to me is the most important, because this is when people tend to reveal their true character, is as how they act when they start having a lot of pressure put on them.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not that's why it's not about what they say. I mean, we talked about the nonverbal cues a lot in the last couple live streams that we did. But when it comes to character, we're not talking about masks here, because we already talked about how narcissism and the masks we wear when we nervous start showing up over time. We're talking about your repeated behavior, and this is how you learn about people. If you can't always just trust people at face value. You can trust people to be who they are, and so get along with people, work with people, be friendly with people, but don't trust who they are until you learn who they are. And that's through those repeated patterns of those things that we just talked about: their habits, their reactions, their decisions, and how they react under pressure.
Right. And you know what? That just made me realize, let's put a theory together.
We just did that. We played 2 songs.
Right? But I bet you I could rap better than he can. I'm the man. I'm Lil Saint. Don't you understand? Now watch. Everybody gonna be like, "Hey, can you rap for one?" No, you know what? It's funny, because hypothetically, I want everybody to envision this. I want y'all to think about this for a second. You go out, you're interested in somebody, and you're willing to do whatever it takes. And granted, yes, what happens is we put on our best outfit, we put on our best face. Our behavior is one way, but then after 1-2 years of dating, or maybe 6 months of dating that person, the behavior changes. We've chased that person. We've bought flowers for that person. We made time for that person. We did everything we can, and we made ourselves look like a shiny diamond for that person to say, "Yes, I want to be with you." 6 months down the road, things changed.
Yeah.
Our behavior changes. So how do you know if someone has strong character? Is it their reputation, their personality, or their intentions? Is it what they do, like you said, what they do repeatedly? So basically, we as men, and I don't know if there's any ladies in here, but we as men, and this is what ladies tend to hold against us, is the fact that we stopped doing what we were doing to get them. Our behaviors stop. Does that make sense?
Yeah, well, but we are providers, and so we know once the relationship continues, that we can be ourselves, and that we can continue to provide and be there for each other, and that's really all it takes for a guy. I mean, we're really really simple, but that I like the example that's brought up in this chapter, Vic, and that was with actually Howard Hughes. So we'll talk about that in a second, but it that when they brought up the case study, Howard Hughes, they were talking about things like character versus reputation. And reputation is what people think about you. Character is who you are when nobody's watching. People spend an enormous energy managing their reputation, but great leaders spend their energy building character. And when they started bringing up Howard Hughes, they talked about how he was this very strong mind. He was able to get along with people really, really well. He was rich. He was powerful. I mean, if you don't remember Howard Hughes, I can't remember. I think I can't remember what movie it was, but it had
Describe it nice and slow.
Yeah, so there's a movie on this, and it had I can't even remember the actor's name. It was the same one from Titanic, but basically Leonardo DiCaprio, and he played Howard Hughes. And Howard Hughes was the guy who was the guy that developed that first plane that could drive, that could fly from one side of the world to the other. And he did that by building.
I'm still trying to figure out how they did that without refueling.
It was a really big plane. It was a really, really big plane, and that's pretty much all they hauled. But anyway, you got to watch the movie. But the character part of this whole thing was that he had the ability to create the influence, to raise the money, to gather all these people around the project, the engineers, the people that did the construction of the aircraft, the people that came up with the plans for the flight, that all the FAA came on board, and they're like, we'll approve this and everything else. But when Howard Hughes started getting into this project, there was a lot of pressure put on him to get this done. And what was amazing about it is when the pressure started laying on, the Howard Hughes that everybody knew, it changed. That person went away. He was neurotic. He was dirty. He was antisocial. He was angry all the time. I mean, he was just this entirely different person. And the movie shows that very well. And let me look at my notes here. So Green used Howard Hughes, an example for compulsive behavior. Despite extraordinary success, Hughes' obsessive tendencies became stronger over time. As his wealth and power increased, his compulsions weren't cured, they were amplified. And so the lesson for all of this is that if you're trying to become successful, like we already said, don't try to work on just the thing. You have to build the character that's going to be able to handle that success.
What?
What's that?
Let me throw this out there too.
Yeah.
Success changes people.
It can. That's why you got to work on your character.
And you know what? Real quick story. I got humbled 3 times because first time I had 5 venues going. I was hosting karaoke 7 nights a week, 1 night a week. And many of us think, let's go. Oh, I like that. Yes. So anyways, I had 7 venues going. I was making like buku money. And I got in my own head. Yeah, I did this. Look at me. I'm Lil Saint. Whoop, whoop. But you know what? Each of my venues started disappearing. So yeah, your success, just putting out there, stay humble when you become successful. Don't change who you are. Remember where you came from.
Yeah.
I tell people all the time, and I even go back to the day where I grew up. I go back to the parking lot that I slept in my truck. And there's times where, yes, I will go and sleep in my truck still, because I don't ever want to get to that point where my success makes my head so big I can't walk through a door.
Yeah. Well, let's pose this question to everybody real quick. So, based off of what we just got done talking about, specifically on the character part, does success reveal character, or does it change your character? I'd like to hear everybody's opinion on that.
Matter of fact,
I think we kind of gave some insights on it already, but I'd like to hear what you guys think about this. Maybe share an experience or something like that.
Here, we can actually go one further. Dial in right now if you are listening, because we want to hear from you. Throw that out there. I sent you.
Okay.
I want y'all to call in right now. If you're listening, call in right now, 909-295-1589. And I want you to share with us if it changes. We want to hear from you, because this is the point where we want to interact with you. Pressure doesn't create character, it reveals it. Okay.
All right. There's that. That the number is on the bottom. Call in if you want to share something in this lane. Does success reveal your character or change it? Just let us know. You can put it in the chat. You can call in, do any or all of the above. All right. So Brandon says pressure doesn't create character, it reveals it. 100%. Oh, and I do want to point out, I've had a couple people say that they want to go back to the beginning. We were having some technical difficulties in the very beginning. So what I did is I played some songs by my good friend Theory, aka Ryan Dorfeld, or maybe it's Ryan Dorfeld, aka Theory. He's a rapper, and he has some stuff up there. But he's a Marine Corps veteran. I'm an Army veteran. I like to support my vets, so I put his music out there for everybody. But if
you know what, you should get in touch with him and tell him I have a radio station.
I can do that.
We'll put his music on my radio station.
Heck yeah, man. But what I would like to point out to everybody is, if you'd like to hear more of these conversations, make sure you hit that subscribe button so that you get notified when these conversations come up. I know a lot of you guys are repeats. I recognize a lot of the names on here and the screen names, but if you want to keep on participating in these conversations and hear these conversations, make sure you subscribe so that you get that notification and we can get you in there.
I like Don's at Don D B Lake. I probably chopped that up, but I like his question. Do you think character can be strengthened over time, or is it mostly developed early in life?
So in this book, they talked about how your character is developed early in life, but just like anything, I mean, I would imagine everybody that's in here studies leadership development. That's why they're in this live stream to begin with. So what I would say, if you study things like emotional intelligence, if you study extreme ownership and how to own your own outcomes instead of making excuses and passing blame onto other people, I think that you can learn how to mold your character into something that you want. If you don't like who you are, you have the ability to change that. If you have some deeply seated issues, it's harder. But remember, you don't have to change yourself overnight. You have to have micro goals and make yourself 1% better every day. And that better is not somebody else's opinion. It's your opinion of yourself.
I wish a woman would have just heard that, because you know what? Women are always trying to change us, man. And they want us to change overnight.
Yeah. Well, honestly though, there are some things with men too. We don't always like
We try to change our women too.
we try to change our women too. That's just a relationship thing. But if we want to change ourselves, it's possible, but you have to be intentional about it. Study the things that will make you better.
Yeah. So Kelly Grant asked, can someone rebuild trust after losing it? Well, that's a relationship question. And it's funny because
not necessarily.
To be honest, it takes time. I'm not gonna lie. I've broken a lot of people's trust, especially in relationships, and it has to work both ways. If the person is willing to work on building that trust up again. And I always tell people, if you and I don't have trust, we don't have anything. Because to be honest, when you meet that person, like with JJ, when I met him, we connected right off the bat. And dude, I don't know. I just entrusted him with some things, and we grew, Now, had I told him some stuff and he went out and told other people about it, and I found out, he would have broke my trust.
Yeah. But trust is one of those things, right? So I will always trust somebody, even after they break that trust. But guess what? That trust changed from trusting them to be a good person to trusting them to be who they are. So if you want to build that into something else, you have to, well, first of all, you have to be open and honest with that person that you messed up, and or that you're looking for something different from them if you're the one that you're trying to trust somebody else, and just have that open and candid conversation. I used to think you were such a good person, but you did this one thing to break my trust. If you want to build that up, in my opinion, this is what needs to happen. And you put the ball in their court, because until then, you kind of have to trust them to be who they are. Kind of like if you have a teenager. Teenagers lie, they deceive, they get really angry for no reason. And I mean, do you trust that your teenagers are going to get better every day? Or are you going to hope they get better every day and you're going to trust them to be who they are?
Yeah.
I mean, it's just the same way. So yeah, but we can move on to the next thing though. That was a really, really good question, Kelly.
So the answer to someone's question about the pressure, it reveals what's already there.
Yep.
And I work great under pressure. Like, I do get stressed out about it, but I work really well under pressure, and it builds strong character. I'll tell you that.
It does.
So
it also drives results.
Watch people when they're criticized, when they fail, when they're stressed. I'm going to be honest. I become an asshole when I get stressed out about stuff and I need to get deadlines met at a certain time. Watch people when they gain power. Watch people when they lose control. Ooh, I want to talk about that one for a second, because that one has to do with the narcissistic side, because there are people that literally, when a narcissistic has somebody in their life, they have control of that person, and that person feels, oh, I don't want to leave this person because they're the only thing that I know.
Yeah. Well, and not only that, but that type of thing, the losing control when they're criticized and stuff like that, and getting really, really upset. These are all things from people's background. And if you want to go back to my channel here on YouTube, again, subscribe if you want more notifications when we have these conversations, but go to the one where we talk about the narcissist. And that's an early chapter in this book, but it talks about how this also goes back to all the way to your childhood. You develop all of your main personality traits when you're a young person. Your personality is mostly developed I wouldn't say your maturity is, but your personality is mostly developed by the time you're in your mid to late teens. And so keep that in mind. Keep that in mind as you're moving forward with all of this. And Polar Bear Polar Bear has a question. Let's see here. Polar Bear Parliament. All right. What's one daily habit that helps build stronger character? I would say I'll give you two. One is taking radical ownership. Before you start, getting upset and putting blame on the thing you're working on being too hard, or the thing that, or maybe a person for making your life harder, or a process for making your life more difficult. Look at what you can do differently first to see what can change the outcome of that because once you start passing blame and not taking ownership of it, that it's really, really hard after you've started not taking ownership of it to bring the ownership back, because you've already found something to blame. You've already got the scapegoat. You already have the out. But if you can start taking radical ownership first, that's one. And the other thing that you can do to build stronger character is don't always take the easy way out. If you want to be a stronger, more resilient person, do the hard things. Like, for example, don't always look for the parking spot in the front of the grocery store. Don't always, just because it may look like the easier route to use AI to write your emails or something like that. Don't. I mean, first of all, people don't know how to write anymore because they use AI for doggone everything. So, I mean, write your own emails.
Smartphones have made people stupid.
Yes, they do. And come up with your own ideas. Do things a little bit more difficult so that you can develop yourself. If you want stronger character, you got to be a stronger person. So don't always take the easy way out. Do the harder things first. You got any suggestions for that, Vic?
Yeah, I do. One word: discipline. Discipline. I mean, are you trying to break a habit, or are you trying to build a habit? Because discipline is what builds a habit. People say all the time, "Oh, I'm going to lose weight. I'm going to lose weight." 6 months down the road, how's that weight loss going?
Yeah.
I haven't even started. Well, because you haven't disciplined yourself.
Yeah.
And that's the same thing with building a business. And I just talked about it the other day. Procrastination. Procrastination is what breaks discipline, and discipline is what builds character. And it builds a strong character, because without discipline, what are you? What are you building?
It is so easy to find excuses not to do something. Oh, I'm too tired. Yeah, I know I got to go somewhere tonight, but I would much rather stay in. Yeah, I could go send that email now, but I might be a little bit too upset. I'm not even going to worry about it until later. And then you forget. I could go to the gym tonight or this morning, but gosh, if I went and came back, it'd be a really tight time frame to be able to get to work if I go to the gym this morning. I mean, you hear what kind of things happen when you don't have discipline. So that's another thing. Yeah, practice discipline. If you commit to something, whether it's openly to other people or to yourself, which, by the way, when you commit to something to yourself, it means a lot more than when you commit it to other people. Because if you can't even commit to the things that you say to yourself that you're going to do, you're not going to be able to commit to what you say to other people. So build that discipline. That's also another really, really good one.
Excuses for people who don't want it bad enough.
Yeah. Excuses are like buttholes. Everybody has one. They all stink. But anyway, yes. So we're going to keep moving right along. Thank you for all the great comments. Yes, Jeffrey, actions always speak louder than words. Thank you, everybody. I mean, our audience has quadrupled since we first started this stream, so I really appreciated that. That.
Everybody has bad days, and we shouldn't judge someone by one mistake.
No.
Because when we judge them by recurring behavior, like you said, it becomes a pattern. They repeat it. They learn from it? Does anybody learn from what they've done?
Yeah.
I'm probably going to chop this up, but Joseph Stalin, Green points out to Stalin as someone whose suspicious nature appeared early in life, and those tendencies didn't disappear as he gained power. They became more destructive. His authority amplified traits that were already present. And the lesson here is power doesn't create character. Power exposes it.
Yeah, it does. Success, power, what?
Ooh, I think we
My software here is dancing around on me. I'm not really sure what's going on. I apologize for that, everybody.
So people can fake. You can't fake character forever.
No.
People can fake confidence, charisma, kindness, and competence, but they cannot fake consistency forever. So that's a great discussion right there.
It is.
Are you fake?
Are you fake? I think that a lot of people will argue that they are not fake. But, this is where that mirror needs to come in to account, because a lot of times we may think something, but it's not always true. And that goes back to the masks we wear, because we're very protective of ourselves. Very, very protective of ourselves. But eventually what happens is that people will get upset with you when your character is not good, because habits will emerge, emotional patterns emerge, values emerge that are not consistent with what you say you are. And so if that's the case, if people are revealing things that you don't like about what you're doing, is that a them problem or a you problem? Because if it's just onesies and twosies, it might be a them problem. You can't please everybody. You do have to be who you are. But if you don't like the things that people are saying to you, and you're hearing it from more than one source, or maybe the same person is saying it over and over and over and over and over again, and you don't live with this person, because sometimes that's a little bit different too, but we're not going to go there right now. But, if you're hearing it from multiple sources, guess what? Not everybody can be wrong. Not everybody can be wrong. So if you're hearing things that you don't like and they're the same from multiple people, then you need to go look in the mirror and dig deep and figure out, man, is that true? And don't let it beat you up. Don't let it beat you up. If you don't like it and you find that it is true, then do something about it. I like the question earlier, how do you improve somebody's character? Well, that's a good question. And that's the question you should be asking yourself if you don't like what other people are saying about you.
Yeah.
Because if you just wallow in it, that'll turn into something that's not healthy. But if you do something about it, you're going to be a stronger person in the end.
Yeah, totally. And the funny thing is like, and you got me.
I got you.
You got me.
That's all right.
But you know what? I think honestly, people just need to stop looking at people like, you could judge me all you want. I don't care. And I've said this before, JJ, where your opinions don't matter to me.
No.
I just told my son, someone's opinions about you don't matter to you. And if you go and let it bother you, that's you.
Yeah. But if multiple people are coming to you with the exact same opinion, and it's not necessarily about something you should be doing, but maybe your character, then it's worth looking at. It's worth looking at. Don't let it get to you. But
people need to do some deep soul searching.
Well, and a lot of people don't do anything to develop their character. They just, actually, the statement that you made earlier, they apply that to everything in their lives. I don't really care about what other people think. Well, you don't have to care about what other people think. But if somebody says something that you don't like about you and you find that to be true, there are always ways to do something about character flaws.
You know what?
You have the ability to be whoever you want to be and approach things however you want to approach things. And there's a way to make all things happen.
Yeah. And somebody had mentioned something the other day, and I had to sit back, analyze, and literally think. And I did that look in the mirror. And I'm like, yo, multiple people said I've been doing this. I've done this. And this person's saying it now. I need to change this.
Yeah.
I need to change this, because if I don't change it, somebody else is going to bring it to my attention.
Yeah. Hey, thank you, Riken Jones. I think I said your name right. If I didn't, then, you know, I've been known to booger names before, so I apologize for that. He said, thank you both for keeping the discussion. Yeah. Thank you both for keeping the discussion practical instead of theoretical. Very refreshing. You know what? I do study things, and Vic does study things, but the only thing we have in life is our experience. And so we can only talk about what we know. I'm definitely not just going to go on here and read a book for you. I'm not going to do that. So yeah, not a problem at all. And again, if your opinion is the same as his, then make sure you hit that subscribe button so you can come on next time we go live. Anyway, so
you know what? Let's have a guest on next week.
We could try to do that.
If anybody wants to be a guest on this show next week,
call that number.
Text it. You can text it, and I will get in touch with JJ. Or if you want to be part of the Growth Forge community,
go on Facebook and do that. Well, but based off of what we just got done saying, I do want to ask a two-part question. So, have you ever been completely wrong about somebody's character? If so, what changed your mind? Have you ever been...
Pick me.
Well, hold on. Let me ask it one more time. Let me ask it one more time in the comments below, or you can call that number and we can hear your voice on the live stream here. But have you ever been completely wrong about someone's character? If so, what changed your mind? Vic, go ahead.
Me? Oh, cool.
I'm sorry, Lil Saint, go ahead.
I'll tell you what changed my mind. You know, again, never judge a book by its cover. Someone can look homeless. Someone could, like, to be honest, I got booked, and this was a long time ago. I got booked to DJ an event. And I show up at this house, and it was a beautiful house. It was like a $2-point-something million house. And the people answered the door. They didn't have no maids. They didn't have nothing. They answered in like a shirt like this. They were just plain dressed. And I'm thinking, am I at the right house? Like, you answer the door in a regular t-shirt, flip-flops, jeans, and you're down to earth. You're like talking however you want. And the person said, yeah, this is a $1 or $2 million something house. I said, well, what do you do? And they said, well, I'm a music artist. And, you know, they showed me their record room, and I was so amazed. And for a minute there, I thought they were squatters. But again, you never judge a book by its cover.
Never.
Because of the fact that I looked at them and I thought they were squatters.
Yeah.
And they were homeless. And there's been times when I've judged other people by their actions. I've judged people by their words. And by when people be talking to, you know, I judge people by their words, and I would watch their actions, and I'm like, yo, they're different. You know, they're different.
Yeah.
Nick, we're going to go for 4 hours this today.
Hey, so the leadership lesson of this is partly what Vic just got done saying, but, you know, I think that when you are trying to be successful in anything, whether it's a relationship with another person, have a business, it doesn't really matter what it is. Authenticity wins. And if your character is what you want it to be, and you can be true to that character, that also wins. Self-leadership gets you all the way. And by the way, if you're in a position where you're maybe a manager or something like that at work, or a business owner with employees, or whatever the case may be, then I think this level of authenticity is what you need to be successful. Because once you understand yourself, you're always gonna be you're gonna have the ability to be more authentic. You're not gonna have to put on a mask. You're not gonna have to put on a facade. You're not gonna have to try to be somebody that you're not to go out there and win, because you're not only do you have an understanding of who you are, but you're comfortable with who you are. That's not saying that there are things that you want to change, because you can always get 1% better at anything on any given day. But if you want to win at whatever you're doing in life, it really requires that you understand who you are, and that you're comfortable with that person, and that person.
Yeah, and the hardest part of this chapter isn't about evaluating others. It's about evaluating yourself.
Yep.
And you know what? And it brings me back to the time where I had to self-check myself. We should always do a weekly self-check. Who have I offended? Who have I not said I'm sorry to? Who have I not said I appreciate you? Stuff like that. And always ask, what behaviors do I repeat? Have I said thank you to somebody?
Yeah.
What do people consistently experience from me? What patterns would others describe if they couldn't hear my words? Because your habits, and again, like I said, discipline creates habits. Habits create actions. And your habits eventually become your reputation. So whatever you do on a daily, people always watch you and they will judge you.
Yep. Well, who do you want to be known for? What do you want to be known for specifically out in this world? But here's the closing question I have to everybody out there, and it's a really, really good one. If someone watched your actions for the next 30 days, if they studied you for the next 30 days, but never heard you speak, what would they conclude about your character?
Oh,
you can definitely put your message down in the chat. Feel free to, reach out to one of us if you want to talk about it. That's Vic's number. I can be reached at jj@victoryleadershipcoaching.com. You can also go to victoryleadershipcoaching.com to find ways to get in touch with me. This is something that I coach people to. And if you're in the business realm right now, Vic just so happens to have solutions for you. So, we just reach out to us if this is more of what you want to talk about. We're going to go ahead and conclude our conversation. But Vic, do you have any closing thoughts before I give mine?
I think, you know what? To be honest, I think we should look at our inner selves and reevaluate where we are today versus where we want to be. Who are you today and who do you want to be tomorrow? And I have a perfect song for us to take us out after you give your remarks.
Sure. So if you go to again, I'm asking you to do your research here. If you go to my YouTube page and you go to the live tab and you go to the AAR video that I did with Chris about a week and a half ago, that right there is a tool, an AAR, an after action review.
You forgot the P, AARP.
No, I'm not that old.
You don't have to be that old. I got it at like 26. You don't have to be that old. It's kind of like AAA.
Oh, okay. Well, so an AAR, an after action review, is basically something that will help you gauge how well you're doing at whatever you're doing. You can use that to analyze your character. You can use it to analyze something that you're working on. You can use it to analyze where you sit with your goals, all that stuff. And AAR is basically just looking at things. What am I doing right? What am I doing wrong? What can I sustain? And what can I improve?
Do you have that in a PDF?
Sure, I can make one. But that right there is something that it's taught in some of the bigger corporations out in America, but I learned it in the military, and we did it after every major operation. We put it in a formal document, and we used that whenever we would plan our next operation to not make the same mistakes over and over again. But you can use this in self-reflection as well. So we're going to go ahead and play Vic's song, but don't forget to like, subscribe, share this out to your audience, and please make sure after this is done going live, if there's something that you want us to know and you don't want to send us an email or give us a call or reach out to us in a formal way, leave a comment below so that we know what you're thinking, and we'll respond back to you.
And if you're not part of our community yet, go become part of it, because you will get more, what is the word I'm looking for?
Professional development guidance.
There you go. And JJ's going to put that AARP up for you.
It's an AAR, after action review.
All right. He's going to make that PDF. And if you want it, go become part of our community.
Yes.
Wake up! Wake up! Wake up! You're getting comfortable! Comfortability kills dreams! So get up and go get those guys!
Yeah! This is for the ones who've been counted out. The ones who've had self-doubt. Time to stand up. Level up. Take your crown. You're the king. Don't let them take it down. I told you the moment I got the window, I was gonna let it all blow. Y'all ain't ready for my flow. I'ma go beast mode. Things ain't the same. What's stuck? Living out of my truck, trying to make a buck. Now I'm on the rise to the top. Ain't never gonna be the same. Same ones that out of me, undoubtedly. They try to give me a 10 count. They try to stomp me out. They can only watch me win now. Not here to make friends. I don't follow trends. I'm built different, built to last. Turn pain into power. Left the past in the past. Every move was calculated. Yeah, you just mad. I made it. I played it like a chess game. Lil Saint's the name.
I put in the time, I done the grind, it's time to shine, cause it's time to level up, I ain't never gonna give up. I came from the bottom, now I'm rising to the top, pressure made me a diamond, I'm never gonna stop. I put in the time, I done the grind, it's time to shine, cause it's time to level up, I ain't never gonna give up. I came from the bottom, now I'm rising to the top, pressure made me a diamond, I'm never gonna stop.
They were sleeping on me, now they all impressed. I was planting seeds, now I'm seeing progress. I remember days I ain't never have no support. They was cheering loud when I step out on the court. Funny how it changes when you leveling up. Same ones that out of me, undoubtedly, they showing me love now. Gotta stay focused, can't get distracted. Gotta make it happen every step I take. Got purpose and vision. I don't wait for chances, I go out and get it. Every scar got a mission. I don't break under pressure. I'm built different, here to stay, here to win. Started with a dream, now have a clear vision in the head. Had nothing but faith, had to hustle for the bread. Late nights, no sleep, sacrifices I made. Now I'm leveling up, watch the moves I created. They ain't seen the grind when I was down on my luck. When the tank was on E and I was stuck in the mud. Now I'm shifting gears, got my foot on the gas. Tunnel vision strong, cruising so fast.
I put in the time, I done the grind, it's time to shine, cause it's time to level up, I ain't never gonna give up. I came from the bottom, now I'm rising to the top, pressure made me a diamond, I'm never gonna stop. I put in the time, I done the grind, it's time to shine, cause it's time to level up, I ain't never gonna give up. I came from the bottom, now I'm rising to the top, pressure made me a diamond, I'm never gonna stop.
Ain't no looking back, I turned every setback in the field for the five. They becoming the fan, they gonna echo the name, now we're ringing bells. Yeah, the whole city here, it came from the grind. I'm taking it higher, now the vision getting clearer. Turn pain into power, every loss made me realer. Watch the crown getting nearer. Used to doubt myself, Lil Saint on the rise. Now I know who I am, I'm a boss, I'm a king. I stick to the plan, took the loss, but I came to win.
I put in the time, I done the grind, it's time to shine, cause it's time to level up, I ain't never gonna give up. Came from the bottom, now I'm rising to the top. Pushing me a diamond, I'm never gonna stop. I put in the time, I done the grind. It's time to shine, cause it's time to level up. I ain't never gonna give up. Came from the bottom, now I'm rising to the top. Pushing me a diamond, I'm never gonna stop. Pushing me a diamond, I'm never gonna stop. Pushing me a diamond, I'm never gonna stop. Pushing me a diamond, I'm never gonna stop.